Ellie, you made a very big change. I mean, a couple big changes here in the past couple of years. You're moving from Australia, then to Canada, now you're at Fort Vancouver. Why was ending up at Fort Vancouver the right move for you?
I didn't go down to Fort Vancouver with the intention of staying there. I think there's something really special about that place and the environment. And I knew as soon as I sort of walked in, I just felt like this overarching sense of like, this is right and this is where I need to be to reach my goals. So yeah, it wasn't like a intentional move, but when I experienced it, there was just like no looking back.
What are the things that, when you're looking for a coach, and because I'm always really interested as to how athletes pick that, because it's such a personal choice, but what are the things that you that need to be there for you to say, yeah, okay, this makes total sense for me to be in this environment?
I was training by myself in Australia and I'd never had any in-person coaching per se. Like when I first started, I obviously did classes and you have a coach there. But I pretty much jumped straight into like remote coaching. So a lot of the things that I need to work on was skill-based and like technique stuff. So when I went to Fort Vancouver and had Adam in person, and even from the first week I was there, it was clear that there was a lot of little things that I had to sort of take a step back and strip things down to move forward. And I'd never really experienced anything like that. So I thought, like this is something that could benefit me a lot.
Was the decision process easy for you? Because I feel, it takes a certain conviction, obviously, to uproot your life and move. And then in this sport, anything of that significance gets publicized. But then you make another switch going over to Fort Vancouver. And I don't want to say it was like a clean narrative, but like moving to Canada and having a female coach in Michelle Letendre, like is a very cool story, and it got covered accordingly. But then to suddenly have to pivot again, was that like, did you lose sleep over it? I'm always curious, like, because the way you describe it, and I'm obviously drawing this question out, but the way you described it seemed like it was almost like I knew immediately and there was no other choice.
No, it was definitely a very difficult decision for me to make, and I lost a lot of sleep over it. Michelle and I obviously had a great relationship, and she was my first CrossFit coach, and so I felt like horrible that I had to leave her, especially because it wasn't anything to do with her or her programming or anything like that. It was literally just circumstance. At the end of the day, my decision, it was what was going to elevate me to the level that I wanted to go to, and it was either go back to Australia, keep training by myself every day, which had got me to the games, so it wasn't like a disaster, or it was move to the US, train under Adam and Jesse and with Justin as a training partner. And at the end of the day, that was what I thought was going to be the best for my CrossFit moving forward. And I think in this sport, sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish. And as much as it killed me to leave Michelle, it was, I think, the right thing to do.
How did this help you? Because you're someone who's trained by himself and really haven't had an athlete of Ellie's caliber there.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a big change and something that like we talked about a lot. And we've also had a lot of success of like what we've been doing. I mean, my rookie year, like being on the podium like both times is something that's really cool. But obviously that's not like the end goal. We want to like keep evolving, keep getting better, because that's what everyone else is doing. So if we keep doing what we've been doing, like the field's just going to keep inching ahead. So it's every year we're trying to find like where can we keep improving, keep getting better. And for me, like I know I always train better when I'm happy and stuff. And like I said, before and even after the 2021 games, it was very mentally tough, just like going through those long days by myself. Obviously Adam's there, but hyper focused on me, pushing me to my limits. And it's definitely was a really, really tough mental battle. I was juggling between, I knew I was finishing school, and in my head, if I felt like I didn't get third or better, like all my sponsors were going to leave me. And like, then I was like, well, then I'm gonna have to go get a job. And how am I going to train if I have to go get a job and compete? I know a lot of people do it, but just in my head, just running around all these things that could go wrong. And it was just, I felt like alone in the space. And we always knew that I'd work better with like training with someone, not someone I would be competing against per se, like on the leaderboard, but like preferably a female athlete. And we just kind of kept our ears open. We weren't reaching out to anybody. Just kind of, if the opportunity comes along and it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Obviously, what we're doing is working, and we'll kind of just wait and see. And when she like wanted to come out, and I was like, yeah, like for sure. Like I've traveled, I went and saw Matt, I went and trained with Rich and all those things. So wasn't really like new to have someone wanted to come train with me. And just the first week that she was here, it was just like so much fun. We clicked really, really fast. Didn't feel awkward or anything like that. And yeah, man, it's been awesome. It's just, especially in the back of the mind though. It's like, well, I'm enjoying training so much more going into the games this year. Like this is either going to be a really good thing or a really bad thing, you know? Like I was like, last year I just felt like I was just running myself into a hole, you know? And I'm like, well, maybe that's what it took to win the CrossFit Games. And this year it wasn't even close to being like that. I was still giving it everything I had in my training, but I was enjoying the process so much more. And I'm like, maybe I'm going to get to the games and get punched in the face and end up like in the bottom half of the field, you know, like, but it was awesome. I definitely felt like I was the fittest I've ever been. And I'm really excited to kind of have a full year of just like having fun, but like getting the best out of our training.